pulls up correctly. There we go. Can everyone see that?
Perfect.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Well, just by way of further introduction, I guess. So back in around 2015, I was working with the Southern Baptist of Texas Convention, and the larger state conventions adopt what we consider the pioneer state conventions. And at that point, we developed what was going to be a 3-year, but ended up being about a 4.5, 5-year relationship with the Hawaii Pacific Baptist Convention. Dr. Martin had asked me to come over and start doing some work. And so my wife, Debbie, and I, and that's Debbie that's on that picture there. And of course, that was Easter Sunday of 2022 when I arrived at Valley Isle Fellowship as the transitional pastor. Craig Webb preached that morning. Actually, both churches I've served at, Central Baptist, Craig preached the Sunday before me. And so I've told him anytime I go into Hawaii, he has to preach the week before me. Not saying that he's not a great preacher. It just makes me look good when he sets the stage for me. But anyway, Debbie and I started coming over and working with churches in Hawaii, leading conferences and doing consulting. And the Hawaii Pacific Baptist had us come in probably about 10 times over the course of several years. And then when I left the Southern Baptist of Texas, I came to Central Baptist Church there on Oahu as the transitional pastor. We were still in COVID, basically. I came in February of 21, which over on the mainland, they like to say COVID was over by then, at least like in Texas and Georgia. But we know in Hawaii that it continued quite extensively, because when I got to Maui in 22 as transitional pastor, that's when you had to have 3 vaccines in order to go out and eat at a restaurant. And so those on the mainland did not understand what was going on in Hawaii at all. But so anyway, so I've been in Hawaii quite a number of times. And just kind of as continuing that story, we left in March of 23 as Valley Isle called their pastor. And I went to Alaska for 6 months to be a transitional pastor and replanted a work up there before moving back to Georgia. Georgia's my home state, but I'd been gone since 1995. And when I got back, Daryl and I knew each other when Daryl, before he came to Noonday, he was with the South Carolina Convention. And so we knew of each other and we connected when I got back in the state, and he invited me to start doing some consulting with Noonday and then getting engaged in the NOBA work. And so through that, I've just been reaching out to different state conventions and associations, and Pastor Bong was one of the ones I connected with, and just kind of started discussing what would it look like for NOBA to help with the Oahu Baptist Network. And that kind of led us to where we are today. And so what I just want to do, we've kind of titled this a training session. I'm going to try not to use my full time he gave me. I want to leave some time in case you have any questions, but what I'm really the content, the purpose of the conversation is to lead us through the understanding of really what does an associational mission strategist do, which you presently do not have. And so it kind of comes to this question of how does an association or a network of churches, and I'll bounce back and forth between that language. I'm sure y'all familiar with it. I know you're a Oahu Baptist network, but in legal terminology, you are an association of churches. That's how the law sees you, even though you're a network. And so the reality is, the question is, how do you do what you do when you don't have a DOM or an AMS functioning in that capacity? And that's really what I've designed this conversation for today, to kind of talk through that. So this document that you see here are the roles and tasks. Daryl put this together last year. So NOBA has actually been involved in working with about 6 different associations before now, helping them through the process of renewal, revitalization, re-engagement, just helping them figure things out. Sometimes they had an AMS and sometimes they didn't. And presently, we are engaged with another association here in Georgia, the Augusta Baptist Association, in order to help them. They've got an AMS in place, but they've leaned on NOBA for us to come in and help them kind of re-engage their churches and do some work for them in that area. And so Daryl had put this together just as a way of showing, hey, this is what an AMS does. And we've got this event. In fact, I've sent Pastor Bong my entire slides, and so he can forward that out to you also. You can see it. I saw a couple of you trying to take this down via photo or whatever, and we can send you the full document, not just what's on that slide that he's going to provide for you in PDF form as well. So the great difficulty that you all have is stepping back and really looking at that question of how do we get things done when we're a leadership team and each of you have your own ministries you're involved in, whether you're pastoring the church or you're volunteering at your church, and there's all this to do. So what I want to do is just kind of walk through. And what I've themed this section right here is the polity framework. This is kind of what your document says. These are the different groups you all have, the working groups. And so this is what OBN presently has. And the next point are the items of really what OBN needs, right? And that is the team to function within the framework of trying to get things done. Did I just close out the sharing? Sorry. No, y'all can still see it? I just can't see it, so I have no idea what
You're good.
what
You're
slide
good.
I'm on. Okay, I'm gonna try to figure out how to keep moving forward, even though I can't tell where we are. All right, so the next couple of slides, what I've done is I've just kind of broken down and said, okay, if you look at that roles and tasks of what is taking place and what needs to be done, your existing model can break these down and kind of look at these. And there is a reality of that I know and that you know is y'all can't do all of this. But you can pick out what are the most important elements and have your different lead teams that you have in place engage in that. So if you were to go back to that primary document that we started with that shows everything that's the roles and tasks, under each heading, I'm providing each heading here and saying, hey, look, under leadership development, your missions and evangelism team, your church planting and revitalization team, your discipleship team, they should be engaged in leadership development for their respective areas. And so this becomes areas of involvement that should be taking place or could be taking place. And nobody can tell you as a team what needs to be done. That's for you all to figure out as a team. Nobody from the outside should ever come in and say, well, look, moderator Bong, you need to go do these things. No, you should be working as a team to determine which items y'all need to do. And that's what a part of that vision and strategy, going back to that previous slide, the very first one, all of you are involved in. And so all of you have to figure out what are the things we really can take on in order to help us function in the absence of a full DOM AMS person in that role, and us see our association function as a healthy association. I think as Bong and I had talked, that's really where you are and where you're going. And what I've recommended is really coming in and saying, hey, let's look at the process that you have here, and let's see how NOBA could come alongside you and help you, because we're a resource for associations. We're here to help you accomplish what needs to be done. And so part of what we do is in providing resources is we're here to help you ask the hard questions. And sometimes it's for us as outside consultants, coaches, to ask you all hard questions. And here's a few hard questions that get asked is are more churches in your network becoming healthy and multiplying disciples? And is there a process that you all have that you can tell this? You've figured this out. Do we know that our churches are becoming healthy? Do we know our churches are multiplying disciples? I mean, ultimately, that's the call of the Great Commission, right? Go make disciples. And so that's a part of the hard question. Next question is, do pastors seek guidance from the association? Or is the association simply this group that sends out a newsletter and gives us a report, and they have these meetings every so often to have conversations, but it's not really this active pursuit of assistance? The association should function as a resource provider to the churches. And so you go back to that previous slide talking about the things that you do, and maybe we can get back to that, the resource development, right? The individual groups that are providing resources to your churches and being available for that. And so do you have resources available? And then is transformation happening? Are you simply managing the activities of the association, or is genuine transformation? When we talk about transformation there, we got to go back to Romans 12 too, right? Are people being transformed in the image of Christ by the renewing of their mind? Are lives being transformed here? Becomes a question. So NOBA, first of all, is available to help provide resources. So we're wanting to help you provide resources. And the one thing that we do, or the main thing we do, is we focus on a church-centric model. And to be church-centric, there's health markers that we look for. So Daryl kind of talked about that we have an association full of healthy churches, and not every church in our association is healthy by no means. I mean, he said that we don't want to try to give off an image that, we've got 130 churches and every single one of them is doing exactly what they're supposed to do. But we do have our churches leaning in to church health. We have the framework that's called the multiply framework. And so we gauge the health of our churches by how they're engaging with our multiply framework. And so our church is effectively reaching their communities. This is one of the first questions. It's a question of contextualization. And for you all on Oahu, having been there a number of times, but also served at Central Baptist for 6 months and just looking at how to contextualize that church in the midst of the little community that it's in and who it's reaching and where people are coming from, that there is this reality that I experienced, that I know many of you experience. I experienced it on Maui as well. Essentially, if you were more than 10 minutes away, they weren't coming to your church. And so it was really this time and borders factor that determined who we can reach at Central Baptist. And so that's part of our conversation, is asking, how are we contextualizing the church? Are your churches being effective at reaching their community? And are disciples being made, not just attenders gathered? And so this is stepping back again and asking that process, even from the hard question a moment ago about multiplying disciples. Does the church, and you look at you've got about, 60 churches on Oahu. And so are those churches actually developing disciples? Are they just bringing people in? And so they're there for 1 hour, 2 hours on Sunday, and then they're sending them back out. And so determining how to make disciples in the midst of those that are gathered. And part of the way you're making disciples is when leaders are being developed. But it's not just about developing leaders, it's also releasing them to do the ministry that you're developing for. And then the big question is, are new churches being planted? We love receiving the Hawaii State Convention magazine, e-magazine, when it comes out, and seeing that list of new church plants and new pastors that have joined, and it helps us know how to pray better for the islands. And so Debbie and I continue to do that, and we take note of all the new churches that are being planted, and y'all are planting new churches there. And so the question is, though, where are those new churches coming from? Are they coming from churches on the island are planting churches? Or is this some other organization parachuting somebody in to plant a church for you? And there's a big difference in a church-centric model for planting churches in that methodology. Next, we have 4 practices that we do. We practice this at Noonday Association, and this is a part of our NOBA network as well. The 4 practices are care, coach, connect, collaborate. And that's basically what we come alongside and offer for our service with NOBA churches or associations, that affiliate and align with us. Number 1 is we're here to help you, to care for you, to ask those hard questions that need to be asked, but also to be a sounding block for you when you're struggling, when you're going through things. We're here to provide coaching. And so what we do is offer different types of cohorts. And, being in a metro area like we are, we do not do a lot of in-person gatherings. It's just like what you all do there on Oahu, trying to get pastors together. Yes, on occasion, you're bringing together those cohorts, those groupings to meet with pastors in person, but y'all are also using the Zoom opportunity to connect with pastors. And so we do this as well through coaching and conversations. And then we're also connecting. Part of the connecting is connecting with resources. So you go back to the slides earlier. I think it was on the first one where I was kind of listing out the responsibilities of the roles and tasks. It talked about partnership building. And so that's a part of the connecting, helping build bridges. I mean, Dr. Miller is here on the site on this Zoomcast with us today. Y'all have a great relationship with Robert, of course, and the Hawaii Pacific Baptist Convention, and just helping to continue to build those bridges with him, with the North American Mission Board, International Mission Board, but also with other organizations that you could connect with to help you in the service that you're doing. And then, of course, the biggest thing is collaboration. We work together on kingdom-sized goals. No single church can achieve this alone. And quite honestly, no association can achieve this alone. And so we help and collaborate with you and help find other partners to bring to the table to connect with you. And I use that word partner very loosely. Legal terms do not like us to use. Lawyers don't like you to use the word partner. So I'll say ministry relationships. We like to engage in those ministry relationships to help you to connect and collaborate with others to strengthen and us work together to accomplish the Great Commission. Amen. And we do this through service. And so our serve framework is study, equip, resource, volunteer, and engage. Assess where you are and where your churches are. Develop leaders to strengthen the systems that you've got. Provide tools that meet the real and current needs that your churches have. And then multiplying leadership training. We train the trainers to go out and do more. And then activate collective impact through shared mission. That's really the ultimate goal of service, right? Is to engage in the work that needs to be done. So some things that the association has to be able to do, and that's to be a catalyst. Your role at the association, if you had an AMS, a facilitator there, the role would be to be a catalyst. And what that means is they need to understand the community that they're in, the demographics of every single church and every single respective community. Each island in Hawaii is different, and every part of Oahu is different. If you're on the North Shore, that's a lot different than being downtown Honolulu. We all know that. And so just understanding the dynamics of each congregational context, that's what you all represent, these various churches. Therefore, you bring that skill set to the table, and that's what needs to be utilized in a catalytic movement within your association. And then also you have to learn the dynamics of the leadership of each church. The reality is we have so many different churches in Hawaii and on Oahu specifically that function very differently. And some of it is based on whether it is a homegrown leader there, someone from Hawaii, and some of it is based on who has come in and planted or come in to serve at one of the churches and what their background is, whether they're from the Pacific Northwest and the way they've led in churches there, or they're from the South and the way churches have been led here, and they're bringing that over to Hawaii and they're trying to contextualize. And so their leadership model is a lot different. And as an association, you have to figure out how to be catalytic with a very diverse group of leaders. And then also the effectiveness of those individual leaders' ministries. The reality is every leader leads differently, and therefore the way they approach ministry is done differently. And the difficulty for your leadership team back at the associational office is trying to figure out, how is this church defining success? How is this pastor defining success? And are they being effective at doing that? And what can we do as an association to come alongside them to support how they're doing ministry in their respective context? So being a catalyst is key to that. So just a few points. The healthy network, what does it look like? Are more churches becoming healthy because of revitalization or new plants? So is there health taking place through the churches, through the work that's going on? Are existing churches showing spiritual fruit, baptisms, discipleship growth, community engagement? Do pastors seek your guidance for strategy and leadership decisions? And that's really key. The association is supposed to be the resource for your pastors. And so, are they leaning on your leadership teams to help them in making decisions? Daryl is not at our office. His doctor has him working remote, so he wasn't here today. But we had one of our churches, one of the missions committee members from one of our churches, stopped by, and they were seeking guidance. They're looking for help in strategy and development on how in the world do you build a mission and vision statement for your church, and what does that look like? And so we spent some time talking with this individual, and now I'll go visit with his church as a whole in a few weeks to have that conversation. Do you have these calls coming, these emails coming to the association? They're looking for your assistance. The reality is the association is the boots on the ground that should have kind of a feel of what's taking place with the churches across the island. And so you're that go-to resource if someone wants to know what's happening in a particular area of the island. Can you point to specific churches that have changed because of the input you're giving them? Are they collaborating together for greater kingdom impact? So I'm going to stop this share now so I can go back to seeing your faces. I got a couple more points that I would make, but I want to give you time to ask questions. I've been talking for about 24 minutes, I believe, maybe 25. And so what questions do you have about all of this information that we're throwing out there in front of you?
Well, I'll start off by saying, Kenneth, this is so refreshing. It gives us a compass as to where we should be, even in just an association that doesn't have a traditional structure. This is very refreshing.
Well, I'm glad to hear that part.
All right, question from our folks here, or thoughts. Kenneth, yes.
Did you come to Hawaii when we had go around the island for the Texas group? I think the vice president of Texas Convention. He came to Mililani Baptist with Pastor Allen was there. Were you part of that group? I think you were, right?
Yes, I was there when Alan was there for a meeting with some others from Texas, but I can't remember which one that was, honestly, because I've been there for a couple of meetings.
Yeah, I think I spoke to you about you Baptist men. They said you could send your president over. That was about 5 years. No, 8 years ago already, right?
Yeah. That would have been right, and yeah, we actually probably would have done that. Yeah,
that's right. I remember. I like the idea when you said the churches ask us for our opinions. I thought that's a good question because I'm trying to figure out who's ever asked me for opinions as far as the church. Other areas, yes, but I wonder how many churches look at OBN as a resource, or would they invite us to come in? Would they even want to share with us their weaknesses and their problems? You know, some do, many do, of course. We know we're helping a lot, I know. But some churches are very independent. They don't want to let people know their flaws and their struggles. And that's okay too. That's like a family. And everyone shares what's going on.
Right.
But I like the question because I think that would set us apart if we got to that level where we're really looked upon as, wow, OBN is here. Maybe they can help us. Versus, hey, hi John, how you doing? Let's have lunch or something. And that's all part of it. But it's a good question because I don't know. I mean, really look at us as, or maybe the convention, maybe not even. Some churches just are struggling on their own, you know?
Right. Well, and Dr. Miller knows this about, you know, my philosophy on these things, but, you know, really the local association and the state convention should be looked upon as the staff members a church doesn't have, right? So when a church has questions and they don't have a staff member that's an expert, if you will, in that field, they need to be able to turn to their association. They need to be able to turn to their state convention and get an answer. And so you don't have to know the answer. The point for the association is to know who does know the answer. And that's a part of being a resource and a network is you know who knows. And so you can reach out to them and help them. I've helped a number of churches on Oahu and Maui with their bylaws. They want to do their bylaws. And so Dr. Webb and Dr. Miller has sent them my way and said, hey, could you help this church figure this out? And so we'll help them get started and get rolling on things. And I want to pause right there just to kind of mention one thing. Here's something that you all need to know about me. I love Hawaii. My wife and I have a heart for Hawaii and for the Hawaiian churches. I will never charge you for my services. If you need help, I'm a consultant that is free to you for anything you need. And Dr. Miller knows this about me, that's just how I do ministry for you. The only time there's a charge is if you need me to come make a site visit. I'm not independently wealthy, so I can't just jump on a plane and fly over there. So somebody has to pay to fly me over there. But outside of that, I'm your resource. And I've shared this with Pastor Bong. We've offered a ministry alignment with OBN through NOBA with some different price options if you desire to engage in a relationship with us. But I told him, even setting all that aside, ignoring all that, anytime you need help, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me, because I'm going to do it whether we're in a ministry relationship or not, because my wife and I have a heart for your islands, and we want to see God work in marvelous ways there on Oahu specifically, but also across the Hawaiian Islands. So I just want y'all to hear that from me.
Amen. Thank you.
Pastor, I have 2 bedrooms free in my house in Milano. You can always stay at,
See, that takes care of lodging. So if I fly over there, I've got a place to stay right there with Brother John.
I got a question. If you go to the annual convention, they try to have every church fill out the profile before they can vote. And it was a good move because a lot of churches just don't bother with that. And I know the reason why. They don't want to show their numbers. They don't want to show their income. They don't want to show how many baptisms. Maybe they have 0 that year. That sort of thing. And so how do you engage them to be willing to share that? Because you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves or hiding from the reality is the church is dying. And, we have buildings around this island, as you know, empty. Other churches meeting in schools said, John, we'd love to have your buildings. We have buildings that have 20 people meeting. What do we do with that? How do you approach that? Because you can't tell them to open up. I mean,
that's part of that hard question, right? So the first part of your question is, how do you get them to share their numbers, their info? To me, it's all about relationship. I've seen that problem. I know Dr. Miller has this problem at the state convention. When I was in Texas, we had over 2,700 churches, and about 800 of them would not turn in their data, no matter what. And so it was only through developing relationships with individual pastors that we would begin to see them start to be willing to give us at least some of the data. They may not give all of it, but they'll give some and start reporting. And so the first part is building relationships. And the difficulty for you all, again, is you don't have an AMS. This is the job of the associational strategist, the facilitator. Pastor Bong is trying to pastor a church. So he doesn't have time to go visit all 60 or 59, whatever other churches, as the moderator of the association, right? And so everyone has to play a part in developing roles and or developing relationships in your area. And so first is each one of you accepting responsibility to connect with some of the other churches to have that relationship, so that when it's time to turn in ACPs, you can very easily talk to them about it and say, hey, I know you haven't done it in the past, but here's why it's good for us. It helps us just overall. Number one, now, Dr. Miller, you can correct me if things have changed, because I've been out of state convention life for about 5 years now, 5.5 years. But it was at one point part of the number of seats you get at the table, so to speak, in convention life at the national scene. It's based on how many members you have in your state convention. And so when guys are not turning in their numbers, you're losing trustee seats with different organizations. You're losing conversation at the table. So one of the main reasons is for influence and conversation. If the big complaint from small state conventions is we don't have enough seats at the table, well, it's because many people are not reporting what their church numbers are so that the national convention can give you those seats at the table. And so we would use that as one of our talking points to say, look, if you want to have a seat at the table, you got to turn in your numbers, because when I was in Texas, we lost 3 trustee seats one year because some of our churches were not reporting. And we went and told those churches, we're like, look, because y'all are not reporting, we lost 3 trustee seats this year. And it makes a difference. It's an impact. So I don't know if that's still the case. And Dr. Miller may or may not know that. That might be something we'd have to research. But that's just a simple practical tool. If we want to have influence from Hawaii Pacific Baptist, we need Hawaii Pacific Baptist reporting. But if you don't have a relationship with those churches, you're never going to be able to have that conversation with them in the first place to get to that. Now, the second part of your question, Brother John, was some of the churches that have gotten kind of small, and they're sitting there with 20 people, and they've got a sanctuary maybe that seats 120 people. And the building's paid for. So, how do you approach that? And that's the difficult conversation to have as well, right? The reality is, and this is a part of, so I don't want to bore y'all with information you don't want to know about, but so like what I do at NOBA, like, so for the association that we're working with out in Augusta, who's heard of Augusta, Georgia? Let me just raise your hand if you've ever heard of Augusta, Georgia. The Masters Golf Tournament. You heard of the Masters Golf Tournament? That's in Augusta, Georgia. So that's the association that we're working with. Well, yesterday I spent about 4 hours running an analysis on the overall health of that association, which included the churches. And what it determined was 15% of their churches are probably going to close their doors in the next 3 years. And because of that, they need to do something. Replanting, merging with another church. Southern Baptists are in the process of losing billions of dollars of church property. I met with one church during December. They asked me to come preach for them. They're meeting at a non-traditional time because they sold their building. They sold their building to a developer for $1.2 million. We will never get that building back, right? The developer tore it down and he's building houses where that property was. So that's $1.2 million lost in kingdom assets so houses can be built. This is happening in Hawaii. It's happening all across the nation. We're losing billions of dollars of property. And so part of our conversation is when we run a deep dive on the churches of association, it's giving us those conversation points that once you have a relationship with that church, you can go in and talk to them and say, look, okay, don't give your property up, but let us plant a new church in here and they'll meet at an off time, right? I know your former president, John, over on the Big Island, right? They were doing a shared campus where his church met at night and the main church, who was it, Pastor Daniel's church, was meeting in the morning, and John was meeting at night. And I think now, after several years, they've merged together and they're one church now, if I'm not mistaken. No, they're not. They're still separate. Okay. So that hasn't happened. So anyway, but they were meeting at non-traditional times. And so a church that has a building with just a few people could allow a plant to come in at a non-traditional time in order to meet. So, Pastor John, there's several things that could take place. But everything that I've talked about, though, begins with you having relationship with the individual churches.
Right. Excellent. Anyone else from the group? These are good and exciting information. Annie, go ahead.
Oh, I really like the healthy network slide at the very end. It's a good way for us to evaluate ourselves. And your model is very methodical. It's probably shown to have worked. But it's a big commitment because it requires us to reshuffle things. And so it's a long process. It requires a lot of time. I am retired, and like Faye, I'm listening to where God wants me to serve. There are others who are still very actively serving in pastoral roles, and so how has other associations been able to commit to this? This is a big process, right?
It is.
And being able to manage pastoring church, being involved in and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So for the ones that we've dealt with that don't have a DOM AMS in position, our advice is you go slow, you go intentional, and you pick out what we would call the easy wins, right? What are some of these items that you could do initially that's going to generate goodwill among all the other churches so that they're going to start leaning into you more? And so that allows you time to do some of the bigger things that are on the list and to prayer. So everything is about establishing a healthy rhythm and slowly unveiling the steps as you go. We would never recommend trying to do everything at once because that is way overwhelming. The other side from us is whatever the need is, we can come alongside and train whichever group of you are dealing with those elements, right? So as Dr. Miller knows, I mean, his dissertation is in church revitalization, mine's in church revitalization. And so, if you need help with church planting and revitalization, then we can provide resourcing and opportunities for that. In fact, one of the things I was going to mention, I was going to go back and share my screen one more time before we end, if this works, is let me see if it works. There we go. It's in your notes about the summit, but I'm doing a revitalization video cohort, and I'm limiting it to 10 people. And so y'all are one of the first to hear about this. If you've got pastors or individuals that are either involved in revitalization or they're looking to get involved in revitalization, whether their church needs to be revitalized or they want to help a church be revitalized, then this is an opportunity for them to attend 6 sessions along me and Dr. Alan Stoddard. He and I co-authored a book together several years ago. We're going to be spending some time, 1 hour each week, and I've tried to do this late enough in the day that your pastors would be able to benefit. So it's at 2:00 Eastern time, which for most of the year would hit y'all at about 9 a.m. But then toward the end of the year, it would change to 6. Or no, it changes to 6. It'll be 6 hours apart. So it'd be whatever that is, 8 a.m. beginning in the spring, right? And then it goes to 5 hours again toward the fall. So anyway, and if you didn't get that info, it's coming to you in that email that Pastor Bong has that he'll send out. But anyway, so we can equip you with these individual elements to work on and to specialize in those fields of study. So start slow, just pick a couple of things. This is, natural church development. Christian Schwartz, in his consulting in natural church development, he would say, just pick one. Find one thing that y'all can work on and work on it, build it up, get it stronger, then move to the next thing. Because you've got teams, y'all could divide your teams up and let them each work on 1 or 2 things, and you'd be able to do 3 or 4 things at a time because your teams are doing it, not just an individual.
Wonderful.
Well, my time is about up. Pastor Bong, I want to thank you again, mahalo, for allowing me this opportunity. And I am going to stick around and just listen to the rest. You asked me if I'd stay on the call, so I am going to do that, but I'm going to turn it back over to you for the rest of your reports. Thank you so much.
Kenneth, thank you for this time. It's very refreshing, and I guess you've hit it right on the head of the nail. The idea that really we are a resource to congregations around us, and the question is, how much resourcing are we and encouragement are we giving to others? This sets a benchmark for me for this year, 2026. There's a lot to process here. Guys, I know there's a lot to process. I think each and every one of you are going to take a slide or two, and I'm going to forward this PowerPoint to you all. And just, we got to ask the question, where do we start? What do we do for 2026? The Lord's already moving in your heart since 2025. Those of you who just joined us on this year, The Lord is going to impact primarily your relationship with us would be to impact your congregation. And let's face it, as you are a part of the network, as you are part of the leadership of the network, a lot of what we talk about here will be applicable not just to your family, personal lives, but more so your congregation. So grateful for that. Kenneth, thank you again, and hang in there. I'm sure our folks are going to have some more questions and conversations as we go along. Anything else just before I transition you all to our discussion and meeting?
I have one comment. You know, last year the state convention had the Healthy Church Conference at all of it. It was a fantastic conference, and the healthy church problem we have in Hawaii. I just think, I know OBN has, Dr. Hammond said that the association is now where things are happening more than state conventions. And yet Hawaii is so small. Can we not do something with the state convention and coordinate these things? Because we're attacking the same problem from two different groups, in a sense. Can we not, Dr. Miller, there's some way we can work together and do something a couple of times a year? But really, basically, like 80% of the state convention is Oahu. But that conference we had last year on Healthy Church was very good. Everyone who went, our church is changing a lot of things. Milani is changing because of it. So rather than OBN needs to be strong as well. The stronger we get, the stronger the state convention is. We're 80% of the convention. But can we not do things together and plan things together and a little money we have together to do better things? Because our churches are really in trouble. So many are doing well and so many are just existing. I think we're chasing events rather than creating things that change churches.
Well,
Dr. Miller, manage ourselves, really.
Dr. Miller, as you address that question, I'll give the floor to you too to tell us this is your time to report also and also share what's going on in the convention level. Again, Happy New Year to you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we are doing the Church Health Conference again this year. It's going to be in September. And so all of you are invited to that. We don't have a location yet. In response to John's question, we do communicate with Bong, the things that we're doing. And if there are things that you guys want to do that we can partner with, we will. We're not going to tell you what to do, but if you initiate your own things and do it, and we'll support it and promote it. So there is communication. I think that's the key here when we work together. And like Ken said, if you need help, if your churches or you as a group need help, you can always ask us for that support. As far as other things going on, a lot of you pastors know we have pastor fellowships that are going on. We have one scheduled for January 28th. We put together a series of pastor forums on preaching. And so I think that was sent out to you. And so you might want to sign up for that. And if you haven't, Craig and I are working on our pastors retreat that's coming up May 4 through 6 at Pukehea. We want to encourage our pastors. Mark Halleck, who spoke at the Church Health Conference, is going to be helping to lead that. And then I think a lot of you folks know that Hawaii Pacific Baptist and Gateway are partnering to start a campus here. And so we're working on that to see that started. We don't have a specific date yet, but those things are coming together. Actually, Craig right now is in California meeting with the Gateway leaders to work out some more details. So you'll be hearing more about that. And that includes the advanced program that you guys are doing with Harlan. And so we're excited about how that will look and how that will benefit people on this island and throughout the state as well as the Pacific. So that's all I got for now.
It's exciting, Dr. Miller. While I have you, during the annual meetings, I've talked to a few of the moderators, and I'd like to submit to you a desire for us to get together in a Zoom call like this I don't know the logistics and everything, but especially for Maui, they have some great things that are happening there that we'd like to learn. And conversing with a few of our partners in Samoa, just like, wow, this is exciting. And that was beautiful, our annual meeting. I'd like to ask if you could have our associations come together in the leadership level like this, where some of us can hear more from them.
Yeah, sure. That's a good idea. And I'm glad you brought that up. So I can email all the moderators and maybe we can come up with a time when we can meet online and just encourage one another, share ideas and all that. Is that what you had in mind?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Yeah, can do.
excellent. Sounds good. Any other questions for Dr. Miller and HBBC and our partnership? Excellent. Good. Thank you again. I am going to turn it over to our clerk. And Miss Clerk, you can do your roll call and also your report. And just as she's getting ready, all of Kenneth's materials are also posted in your agenda. Under his presentation point 2, there are 3 links there. And all those links have substantial information. I will create another note 4 and 5 for his presentation slides as well, so that you have access of that when you go to this landing page. Auntie Charlene, your turn.
Okay. Okay, I will call roll. Bong,
Here.
Hazel,
Here.
John,
Here.
Sung Ho, absent. Annie,
Yep, here.
Jamie, I guess he's sick. Faith,
Here.
okay. Tess, are you there?
Yes, I see her. Yes.
Okay,
I'm working, that's why, sorry.
okay. Harlan,
Here.
okay, I called Mike Proctor. He thought that it was in the evening. So he was driving at the time, so he won't be able to make it. Yeah. Okay, and Matt, I guess he probably is busy with that marriage conference coming up.
Mhm.
He's not here, right?
Not here.
Okay, and Charlene, I'm here. Okay. I have a question. Simon Hoops, does he need to be nominated, voted on to be part of the OBN leadership team? Because he wasn't voted on.
Maybe I can help bring our memory back. I think we did want to nominate Simon. However, because the church that he belongs to has not officially become an OBN church, is that right? Or HBBC
Right,
church.
right.
And
right.
so because of that technicality, we could not have voted him as a member. And so
Right.
we are currently we're inviting him as part of our ministry to attend.
Okay.
Simon, is that right? Pass the ball.
Did they vote on it at the HPBC meeting?
No. Well, HPBC.
What is the name of the church?
Grace Church Kailua. And I know that Pastor was there.
I think we
And
did.
I thought they were supposed to do that, right? I wasn't there, so I don't remember. I don't know.
They voted you guys in.
They did. That's what I thought.
Okay. Dr. Miller, Grace Church Kailua is in your roster?
I think so. I'm trying to go off my memory. I think we did vote on them, but I don't have the records in front of me.
Okay.
I believe we did at the annual meeting. Chris Alsop, that's
Yeah,
Chris
correct.
Alsop's church.
Yeah.
So I thought we voted on them because they stood up, right?
They did. Yes, they did. Thank you for jogging our memory. That was some 2 months ago. All right. Having said that, then, Miss Clerk, how do you want to proceed with Simon's conversation discussion, unless the council have any other?
Oh, okay. So I'll leave that for now. And did everyone get the minutes for the October 16 and October 24 annual meeting, and also the December 1 meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So were there any questions or additions, changes that needed to be made? Okay, October 16, our regular OBN monthly meeting. The September 18 minutes were approved. For evangelism team, motion was made by Jamie to request $1,000 from OBN to assist Olivet Baptist Church to hold a Spanish language gathering on November 11 with dinner and a program. John seconded, vote was taken, and motion carried unanimously. Communications team, Annie moved that we accept the 2026 OBN calendar to present to the OBN churches. Motion seconded and accepted by a unanimous vote. Motion for Pastor Bong moved that the 2026 OBN budget be accepted to present to the OBN churches, seconded by Jamie. Bong asked for more time to adjust the budget to zero it out rather than have a negative balance. So budget sent out by email and vote taken electronically via email, with 6 approving the budget to present to the OBN churches. Okay, so that was October 16. And then we had the annual meeting and the minutes of the 2025 2024 annual meeting minutes were adopted. As far as the OBN Leadership Council, everyone was voted in. For the OBN officers, Hazel Kapinpin nominated Faith McFatridge. Vote was taken, and Faith is now the interim OBN treasurer. Thank you, Faith. And the OBN budget was presented by Pastor Abagon and moved for adoption. And there were some questions, but the motion was voted on and the OBN budget was approved unanimously. The OBN calendar was also adopted unanimously. And so the Constitution and bylaws, we did not present that for a vote. So that's how the annual meeting ended. And then December 1, we had a meeting, and of all things, Faith, our treasurer that had been nominated and elected, she was not there. But the meeting was called to order, and Annie Lamb made a motion to have Matt Sanders, Jamie McElrath, and Faith McFatridge serve as signatories for the OBN's First Hawaiian Bank account. Harlan seconded the motion, and the motion was passed with a unanimous vote. So that was our December 1 meeting. So if there are any questions or corrections, please let me know.
I have the HPBC annual meeting book of reports. And on page 7, the credentials committee did recommend Grace Church, Kailua Oahu, Chris Elsop, to be part of the convention. So it was approved.
Very good.
Okay. 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 So at this point, I make a motion that the minutes from October 16, October 24, and December 1 minutes be approved.
It's a motion on the floor. Any other further conversations? All of you in favor say aye.
Aye.
Or wave your hand because you're muted.
Oh,
Or
okay.
make like-
Sorry.
or
Sorry.
make like this.
What? Someone needs to second the motion.
Annie
Okay.
Lamb.
Okay.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Thank
Those
you.
of you approve once more say aye.
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 All right, those of you opposed, I need to hear you. Okay, none. Thank you. We have.
Okay.
And
conversation-
Pastor, Tess is
Go ahead.
back.
Say again.
Tess is back.
Tess is back.
Yeah, she's on the,
Waving down there.
Yeah,
Because
she's
the-
waiting.
because the roll call earlier.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
We brought up Simon's name. Simon's name is being asked for a review. The review was made. The referee says it's all clear. And so we shall move forward. I need a nomination for Simon's name on the floor, please.
Nominating.
John Janisha nominates Simon to be a part of the leadership team. No. Any second?
Second.
Been seconded by Mr. Harlan. Any conversations? We've had already. Yeah, we've even reviewed it. Okay, good. Having none, all of you in favor to accept Simon as part of our leadership team, say aye.
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 Okay, those of you opposed also say. All right, Simon, welcome. I know you've been with us for a while now. It's the only time we're welcoming you formally.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
After we put you all to that hard work.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, we're grateful for you and Krista. Thank you again for serving, especially at the swap meet ministry. So while I have you, tell us again what's going on in the swap meet.
Okay, we're gonna start back up and continue what we were doing. I know we talked about it before, maybe we want to bring it up again here soon, is like phase 2 type things that we had on a list on what to do from there. Like having pastor videos of each church and having that available, things like that. And I can't remember what else is in phase 2. I'd have to look at my old documentation to see what it was. And maybe things that we had for phase 2 might not apply because we know more now. But we should probably look at that soon since we're going into a new year and see what we should do from there is to make it better. I know one of the things we'd like to see is more church participation at the table that help, and so that would be good. More consistent church. I mean, there's several that like Annie is always there, and we have some people from all that they're always there, almost every week, and but there's almost 60 churches that we'd like to see someone from. So maybe we should think of a good way to promote that, to get more churches involved at least once every few months or something like that, and because they can experience it, because it's pretty fun. It's gets a good time there, and you get it's the easy way, especially someone who wants to be part of a outreach and has never done much outreach. It's a really easy one because they come to you, and then you can promote your church as when people ask about it. And we give away a lot of Bibles, and we've been doing a lot of things for kids, and so it's been pretty fun. So we look forward to starting up again on Saturday.
In fact, Simon, maybe we have the 6 leadership team, and one of them is evangelism. I think naturally we need to look at all the membership of the leadership team, and if that would be a good one for you to lead. or to be a
Yeah.
part. Mhm.
Yeah, it makes sense. Sure. Mhm.
Love it. Very good. Let's Faith, go ahead.
Robert, I'm not sure if we publicized the swap meet in the Hawaii Baptist. That would be a nice article, and also to promote his ministry and to see see if people would be interested. Craig or whoever, I don't know who's doing articles or chooses articles, but somebody could interview Simon. There's lots of pictures, and I think he's done a couple reports. So there's an article there for the Hawaii Baptist.
Well, I would suggest that someone send information and the request to Craig, because Craig's the main editor.
Gotcha. Thank you, Faith. Simon, I'm going to encourage you to, I know you forwarded your reports in a statistical way. I've seen some paragraphs to praising the Lord in between you, Annie, and your team, and also for the council. We're going to ask you to crop something that we could forward to Dr. Webb, and hopefully they'll consider it to be printed.
Okay, great. Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
And for Simon, that's this Saturday, correct?
Yes, we'll be there this Saturday. Mhm.
Do we know any future schedule?
Actually, no, I haven't really laid out anything other than the first one of the year. But it'll be the current plan. If we continue what we did last year, is about 2 a month. So we pick out 2 weeks out of the month and Saturdays and do it. And so I can do that. I can come up with more of a schedule for the next few months if you'd like that.
Yes, please. If you don't mind to, if we don't have a firm one, make sure it gets released 2 Sundays before, because some, like our church here, we promote the upcoming event heavily 2 Sundays before, and we'd love to get some participation.
Okay, I can do that.
All
And
right,
Pastor Bong,
go ahead.
I think the budget for the swap meet ministry has ended, so we have to go back and talk about the budget that we're gonna give them again.
Sounds good. Having said that, then let me go back to our financial report, and then let's also remove you out of the way there. Okay, you can all see the screen. Let's look at the report, and then let's look at some of our budget for the year, especially for the swap meet. On the OBN balance sheet, great reports, and we thank again Michelle for all this hard work. We on the month of December started off with 131. I posted against the budget. I'm going to visit some of your ministry expenses, and just so that we can carry on to this. And I'll start with the mission and evangelism. 22 out of the 35 we budgeted. Church planting is a 500 out of the 65. Church assistance spent 28 out of the 11. And communications 4 out of the 6. Mentorship, we did not do anything there. I'm sure we did, we just didn't spend. For the discipleship, we have spent 5,000 out of 10. Okay. And for moving down to ministry partnerships, 42 out of 30. And that was, we overspent there. That ministry partnerships where we take out the youth camp. Okay. And there's also incomes that came in out of that. For the personnel, it's 33 out of 39. And administrative, it's 86 out of 65. And one of the out of the ordinary is the insurance that went up from 4. We budgeted it for 1. I hope that we'll budget that for 4 this year. I don't remember, but I'm sure we're going to visit that. Your bottom line is a positive of praise the Lord for the $25,000 remaining in our checking after all of these expenses have been taken out. Okay. And that's your P&L for your closing of December. That's the OBI report right there. And again, we are grateful for the participation and partnership. For the youth camp, in case you have questions, it's also posted to you there. And finally, your restricted funds are,
What?
we have athletics, that's still in the same balance. We have healthy church and also the youth camp scholarship. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the other, you have donations from churches and OBN check log. Please look at that. But that's how we're gonna close our financial report. Are there any questions on the financial report for the month of December and for the whole year of 2025?
Just want to follow up on our motion to give Connections Church $250 per month from February to the end of the year. Was it taken out and given to them?
Thank you, Annie, for that reminder. The last time we talked about it until now, I can't remember our traction to it, but we do need to forward that. Okay. And
Is it under church assistance?
Correct.
Church assistance? Okay, there's been no expenditures in that category.
Any reminders again, how much?
This is from February 2025, motion number 6, $250 for 10 months.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
So
Mr.
$2,500 we owe them.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's gonna
And you are aware that the Whiteheads are leaving in February.
That's correct.
So
So let's go ahead and do that. Miss Faith, if you don't mind, we are gonna pull that out on 2025. And we'll just inform Michelle. Okay. Any other questions on the finance?
wait a minute, wait. So we still need to owe them that money?
That's correct.
Yes. In fact, it was
Okay.
Pastor David who told me that they
Well,
didn't
we
get the money.
can't take any money out of the 2025 budget already because
No,
it's closed.
Technically, well, actually, we still can. We're just gonna have to adjust the books. I'll talk to Michelle about it. And the important thing is that we honor our word to our churches, and this was approved back February, and we failed. So we failed to remember. Thank you, Andy, for reminding us.
So what about this year? What is somebody going to talk to David? No,
It was just for the 10 months.
just for this term.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so there was no additional request since then. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Okay, thank you very much.
Is the signatory all squared away?
No, we still need the updated DCCA form. Somebody needs to update it because the form that I got still had Jeff on it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and print that and send it to you, Faith.
Yeah, I got the old one. I was sent the old one, but I need a new one with the 3 of us on there as officers.
Okay, I'll go ahead and print the new one, Faith, and I'll send it to you. Thank you for that reminder.
Well, you have to submit the update.
It was submitted.
DCCA.
It was submitted, and I need to print it up.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the old business. The 2025 proposed constitution bylaws. I wanted to create a timeline. And the last time we left this off from our annual meeting, October, we were in the legal review. Because of that legal review, we halted. Everybody was on board on that, and that was a report given. I don't have Jamie with me, but just in a minute or two, could you give me the timeline that we want, that I really want, is at least by summer, we can have a crafted with all the legal reviews, crafted another draft. Any one of you, or maybe the admin team, any one of you are aware of a good timeline? Really, we're just talking about timeline.
One of the dates on the calendar is April 25th, and we stated that we'll have a network fellowship, and the intent is to bring churches together, and offer some of the changes that we propose, explain it, get input, make churches feel that they matter, and then move forward. So we have to plan towards that if that's still a good date, April 25th for the network fellowship. And it's still, I mean, we can still have the final bylaws and constitution out by summer, but I think this is our first milestone to prepare for this fellowship.
Sounds good. I'll take that as a timeline, and I'll touch base with the admin team to make sure that before that April 25th comes, we are prepared and ready. You'll hear more on our next meeting, Council. Please look over your Constitution and Bylaws draft. And if you don't have that, the link at the bottom of your agenda has all of these outstanding resources that's within your fingertips. Okay. Team assignment reorganization. You kind of alluded that a while ago, Annie. And now let's go ahead and reorganize ourselves. Having heard an encouragement from Kenneth and the enormous, exciting work that is ahead of us, plus in addition to Simon being a part of us, so we need to reorganize. Now, to give you an update, at the bottom of your agenda are the ministry teams. And we can take it with that. So in the next 2 minutes, Miss Annie, I'm going to ask you if you don't mind lead us into this conversation.
Okay, leadership teams. Let's see.
And it's right here on your screen too.
All right.
And disregard the names because we are reorganizing that.
Would it be let's see, let's just go over them. Missions and evangelism, we currently have Charlene and Hazel listed. There are some of these teams with, or one person might be on more than one team. So I would encourage you to at least to commit to one team, and then afterwards and pick us, if you want to, then pick a second team. We have how many of us now? I think we have 13, including Simon. Right?
Got it.
Yeah, so we can have, at least 2 people per team, hopefully. So we have missions and evangelism, church planting and revitalization, church assistance, orientation and mentorship, discipleship, and communications. Yeah.
I'm with the church assistants.
Okay. So we have Hazel for church assistant, and I still want to remain in communications.
Okay.
I'm orientation and mentorship.
Okay.
But I think I need to be subtracted from the discipleship.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we are taking out Miss Clark, just make note on the discipleship, we're taking out Harlan and Annie. And we are putting Harlan
is under mentorship.
Mentorship.
Mhm.
And Annie is with
Communications. And then
Okay.
Hazel, is it
Hazel,
Hazel
I'm with church
Church
assistants and
Church
mission.
Okay.
and missions. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
John, and how about John? Who else is here? And Simon, are you good with evangelism?
I think so.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah,
Mhm.
put me there.
Okay.
And some other one you need me as well, that'd be fine.
Mhm.
Okay. John, you're on discipleship. Do you want to continue?
I don't.
John is currently church assistance and discipleship.
Right.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out where I'm good at. Besides that,
Well, you are in two committees, so that
Yeah,
if
but-
you just want to switch, that's the question.
yeah, I'm trying.
Okay.
This.
Think about it, Tess. Let's ask you, or Annie, where would you like to put Tess?
Yeah,
Tess. Oh, Tess, I don't know if she's working right now. Tess, can
I know.
you speak up? Or let's see.
By
We're
the
gonna
way,
need. Go ahead.
Tess, go ahead. Annie, where are the needs where Tess can serve?
We don't have anyone in, we don't have anyone in discipleship right now.
Discipleship.
Mhm.
Tess, we'll do orientation on discipleship. Of course, Annie will tell you more about that. The crux of discipleship is that it helps move forward many of our discipleship programs, such as the the Baptist men, the youth, the children's, and that's what is under discipleship.
Okay, I'll try. If not, I'll.
Is there anything that you personally, feel called to do?
You gotta look where the strengths are of the people. Don't just put people anywhere.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Annie's asking Tess. Go ahead, Tess.
where's her strengths? I don't know.
I'm not sure yet, but yeah, like I said, I can try that and see if it works,
Okay.
and then I'll change later.
So right now we have you
Yeah.
in discipleship, and would you feel comfortable?
She would be good with communication too, Pastor.
Hmm?
Yep.
Hmm?
Tess, what do you
Yeah.
say? What do you say?
Why is she answering for her?
Communications test is where Annie, go ahead and explain in one paragraph.
Okay.
Well, yeah, promotion, working heavily on the annual meeting, preparation, website updates, and so on.
Mm.
By the way, you can try and you can switch. So
Yeah. Okay.
you're not
I
locked.
can.
Okay.
I can do that.
You can do communications? Okay.
Miss Annie will help me.
I knew it.
Good.
Thank you, Tess.
Pastor,
Faith,
Pastor Bong, oh yeah,
Go ahead.
Faith, go ahead.
go ahead. Let's go with Faith. Any committees that you would like to participate in?
Oh, do I have to be in a committee team?
At least in one.
Oh,
I don't, probably church assistants.
okay. Cool. John, are you still in church assistance then?
Yes, he is.
Okay,
Unless he
very
tells
good.
us today that he's not.
And that's both. I should be, I guess, with Baptist men, I should be in
Discipleship.
discipleship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. May I ask where can we help Mike? Where is the need for Pastor Mike?
I really don't know Mike, so I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. We'll hold off then until we talk to you.
He could do anything.
You can do anything.
Yeah.
I think Jamie and Sangho would be good with continuing with church planting. But I can approach them and just to confirm whether they want to switch or stay on. And then Matt, Matt too. Maybe someone can approach him.
If you're talking about Mike Proctor, you know, his expertise in interim pastoring and revitalization, that would be a good place for him.
Okay. Let's
He
ask
was-
him too.
He was a former executive director of Alaska.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so for those people who are not present, I will volunteer to just get in touch with them and ask them.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
let's not plug them in until they, they respond. That's my suggestion. So at least they have a say.
Sounds good.
Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Thank you, Annie.
All right. And
Mhm.
Michelle will just make notes on what we have as of the moment
Charlene, where's Charlene gonna be?
until she tells us where you at.
I'll continue with communication and the mission and evangelism.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
All right. So for missions and evangelism, can we go back to that? Can you scroll back to the teams? Missions and evangelism, we have Charlene and Hazel for now, the people who are present, correct? Oh, no, and also Simon. It- Right? Three of you.
Right.
Okay, and then church planting and revitalization, we need to confirm with Jamie and Sung Ho. With church
And
assistance.
Mike,
Possibly.
And-
Mike Proctor.
I'll check with him. Yeah, I'll check with him and ask him to select. Church assistants, we have John. Anyone else in this?
Hazel.
And Hazel, yes, Hazel, sorry. Okay, orientation and mentorship with Harlan. I'll have to check with Matt. Anyone else in this group? Not, then discipleship, we have John right now. And then Annie and Harlan dropping off from there. And I think Matt was the chair, but I'll have to check with him. Then communications, I have Annie, I have Charlene, I have Tess.
Okay.
Simon is with the discipleship, isn't he?
Simon is with missions and evangelism.
You can put me
Oh.
on another one if you want. I'm not
Oh.
sure which one to
Mhm.
do, but if you have a spot that you want to put me in, I'm up for whatever you want to do.
Mm.
Very
Okay,
good.
all right. Thank
And,
you, Pastor Bong. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you, Annie.
Then let's come
One-
back next month and confirm all of this, but at least we have a fairly good idea of where people are.
Very good.
Mhm.
And now that you have been assigned to a team, don't forget, I want to encourage you to be a part of the subset of either the Baptist men, the She, the youth, and hopefully in the future we'll have a college and career, that you be a part of a children age group. And of course, if you are not, then look for other subsets such as the OBI, that we have, and the swap meet is a very good subset. And let me see now. We have not adopted Seafarers Ministry, but Seafarers Ministry is also in need of your participation. Great, awesome. Let me stop. Oh, okay. Let's go to the last and closing. Hazel, I will visit the swap meet ministry funding when I review it together with Faith, and so we'll get back to that and propose something to you in February. For now, their funding comes from evangelism. Okay. For your announcements, and those of you needs to share, we've got a few more minutes here, so I'll just pull it out from who's here on the screen. I know that we've highlighted 4. We have the youth that's coming up. We have the marriage conference that's coming up this weekend. I was reminded by Matt, if we could avoid those kind of conflicts, and reminded again our guys again. This came up, and we were just not caught up with the schedules. But a prayer request from Jeff, Annie. I know he texted us.
Mhm.
Jeff, go ahead. But we could pray for this coming youth retreat this Friday and Saturday.
Mhm. Yes, he asked us to pray for the youth for God to soften their hearts so that they will come to repentance.
Amen. They are expecting over 100 middle school and high school. And they are Friday and whole day Saturday.
Mhm.
I tell you, only youth leaders can do that. Be in prayer also for the Alec and Bell marriage retreat. I do not have any details except that they're fully booked. They closed down their registration since last week. And I was informed that the baby care, the free babysitting that they have closed down a month ago. So there's a lot of traction. You be in prayer for Matt as he spends time with their speakers today. For the She on February 7, Annie, go ahead.
Oh, yes, our theme is going to be aligned with OBN's theme, which is our first love. We will be writing love letters to God and also sharing some praise move, dance our soul out, basically. So it'll be a great time, and we have some great party gifts for our attendees. It'll be at the beach.
Excellent. Okay. And the men are coming up. We'll tell you just in a little while, but let me go to OBI. Harlan, go ahead.
You guys see my screen?
Yeah.
We glorify the Lord for the good things He's doing at Oahu Bible Institute. Highlights for December and January. Dr. Adam Groza, president of Gateway Seminary, verbally agreed to be our speaker at the OBI Fall Training, which is on October 24th, one day after the OBN annual meeting. So my suggestions is you invite him to be the speaker for the annual meeting, since he's going to be here anyway. So that's just my suggestion. So let me.
Good suggestion.
Leaders of Kahului Union Church agreed to have their church members take classes at OBI Spring 2026, and then the following people verbally agreed to take classes in the spring. So I'm excited to see how the Lord will work in 2026. Also wanted to share my other report, which is new worker report. So met with Brian Suzui, pastor at Faith Christian Church, preached for him on December 14, also helped him out on December 21st. We'll continue to encourage him and his ministry. Talked to Pastor Eddie Hahn in our meeting. We encouraged one another. We also discussed how OBI could help his ministry at Malama Church, planning to conduct OBI classes at Malama Church every Saturday morning starting in January 31st. Eddie's excited to see how OBI classes will help his members to grow in their faith. Also met with Chris Alsip, pastor at Grace Church Kailo. We prayed and encouraged each other. We're making plans to work together, reaching youth. Also planning to assist him with his church plant. And that's my report for the orientation and mentorship ministry. Any questions for me?
And Harlan, are you go ahead, Faith.
Okay, so David McQuitty will be here February 1st to March 15th, stay at the Shiraki House. So just information. I think he's going to be looking at some of the resources for OBI.
So we're planning to take him out to a nice lunch or dinner, show appreciation to him. So if anybody wants to be a part of that, let me know.
And Harlan, do you have time with the HCPC too, and so that to keep us updated as to their progress or our progress, our partnership with them?
I can share my goals if you want for the new year. So increase OBI enrollment and staffing, recruit 15 new students for the new year and 2 new instructors. Encourage 5 to 10 students to enroll in the master's program at Hawaii Pacific School of Theology. Develop communication for OBI meeting with 25 pastors and leaders from OBN, and meet with Craig Webb to develop clear communication between OBI and Hawaii Pacific School of Theology. Offer training to OBN churches in the fall with Dr. Groza the one I mentioned. The training will be on faith. He wrote a book on faith, so we're going to cover that. Offer classes in another language, Micronesian Korean or Japanese, and offer training for pastors. So that's our current goals for the new year for our school.
Okay, the name is Hawaii Pacific School of Theology.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I'm headed to the tail end of our time together. I know we have some homework and assignments to do this time. And don't forget that your team, your leadership teams should be meeting throughout the month. So if you don't have a chair yet to assign and to let you know when the meetings are, please extend emails to one another within your team. I know communications have it on the first Tuesday, if not the second Tuesday of the month, and they do it at 1 o'clock. And so I want to encourage the rest of you to do that. Okay. Any others?
I have a question. I have a question. So who's on the Constitution and bylaws
Yeah,
review?
your admin, well, Jamie heads the committee, but your admin team, Jamie, Matt, myself, Annie, are part of that group.
I would like
I
to
am
add.
too.
Go ahead, Vic.
Okay. I would like to add possibly looking at a financial policy also. If that can be added to the agenda for constitutional bylaws so that we need to have a financial policy for OBN.
Thank you, Faith.
So that's clear about who's doing what.
Okay,
I had a question too.
go ahead.
So if we do need to turn in receipts, we turn it into faith now, or what is
We have not made that change yet. Let's just follow what we're doing for now until we agree for a new financial policy. And I think part of that is a well-rehearsed and written policy that we will submit to you on February meeting. So on February meeting, we're going to ask Faith to help us craft a contextualized financial policy for our own context. Okay, and we also are going to talk to Constitution and bylaws for any other financial statements that needs to appear on that level. Faith, if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, if you can continue to send it to Bong, I think it's Bong, Jeff, and Michelle, right? And CC me. That would be the fix for now.
Okay. Let me say this. It is not Jeff. So once more, it is me, your team leader, and Faith and Michelle. If you don't have Michelle, that's okay, because normally what goes through me, what I approve, goes directly to her. So once more, it's Faith, your team leader, who's in charge of your budget bucket, myself, and then from that point on, we forward it to Michelle. Okay.
So I've also sent you all the till November 2025 the individual receipts in your accounts, so you can look at that and make sure that everything has been cleared or at least requested. Also, side note, Michelle is having a baby in June.
Another one. Very fruitful. Excellent. Congratulations to Michelle. For our closing, I want to encourage you. Let's continue to pray for our churches. There is a 50th anniversary of Palisades Baptist Church at the end of the month on Saturday. Let me see who else are celebrating.
Waipahu.
Waipahu is celebrating when?
January 25th, I think. That's the last Sunday.
Okay. And who's just spoke? Hazel, could you remind your pastor to send us an info of what celebration you will do so that we could just spread it out to the rest of our network? I
All
did
right.
say Palisades and then Pearl Harbor. These are just talking points and not prayer requests. For Southern Baptist Church of Pearl Harbor is now, if you remember the Pearl Harbor Korean Baptist Church came back to them a month and a half ago, 2 months now, and it's been a very good transition. But be in prayer for Alvin and Charlotte as they manage all of these transitions that are happening with Pearl Harbor. Yeah, and you've already heard that Connections Church will have a new pastor, and David Whitehead is stepping out and retiring. And Derek Norris will be here in town, so touch base with Mr. John Janicio. Many of you are friends of him. I'm just going through what's on the top of my head, and I guess that's it. If you want to touch base with all of the churches, look at them at their social media platform. It's always good to get connected with all of our congregations. If you never grew with your pastor's preaching, you can probably listen to someone else's preaching on Facebook. Just saying. All right. Hey, Kenneth's still around us. So, Kenneth, I'm going to ask you to close us in prayer if you don't mind.
I would be happy to. And once again, mahalo for the opportunity to speak with you all. Let me pray for you. Father, we're so thankful for this day, for the opportunity to connect via Zoom, just for the work of OBN. Just pray that you would continue to bless them. Bless Pastor Bong as he's leading as the moderator of this group, and for each of these ministry teams as they're reorganizing for the new year and trying to be effective for the sake of the gospel. We ask for your blessings and just for kingdom expansion for each one. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
God bless. Thank you all.
God bless you. Thank you, Kenneth.
I got 2 rooms for you, brother.
All right. Sounds good.
And those of you have any other more questions or points, go ahead and just hang out with us. Thank you again for everyone. Right. Charlene, did we get all the notes that you need?
Well, if you can send me the Zoom recording, that would be great.
I will do
Or
that.
do you have the transcript?
Oh, you want the AI to work with you, huh?
And also, Harlan, you always do such a good job of having written reports. Can you send that to me also, please?
Yeah.
And if anyone else has written reports, please send it to me.
I'll send it right now after we get off.
Okay,
Okay.
terrific. Okay, thank you.
And Charlene, I'm going to send Kenneth a presentation, and we'll probably just create a link for on your paper. It will just say, yeah, it will just say resources available.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna put down everything that he said.
No, certainly not. All right, beautiful. Tess, thank you. Look, Tess is working and she's still with us. Appreciate it, Tess. Okay, good. And Simon, Krista's back with you, and how's she? She's okay?
Yeah, she's doing great. She has, because she gets skin cancer all the time. She had a dermatologist appointment today. But so she's doing good. She had it tested on her nose the other day, and they said it was nothing. So that was a praise the Lord on that one. So she didn't want her nose gouged out. So she's good. Yeah. So I'm excited that she's back working with me.
Is
good.
your arrangement with your place there still good?
Yeah, so it's gonna be it's a lot of moving parts right now. The church here will probably sell by June. I mean, we know some people who are interested in buying. They said, "You guys stay," but I don't know if that's really would apply. If Chris Alsop's church, if Hobby Lobby buys property and there's a house on that property, which there is on the one he wants, we might be moving to there. If both of those don't happen, if like we can't stay here, we can't stay there, we might be staying with you, Bong. I don't know. Yeah,
Well,
everything's up in the air.
John's got a room.
Oh, John's got the room. Okay. Okay, sounds great. I'll stay there. But anyway, so everything's kind of up in the air. We're kind of just see how what God does. We're just kind of, I mean, for me, Chris is, like nervous, like, oh no, where we're gonna stay? I'm going like, it's gonna be cool. Whatever God does, it's gonna be the right thing. So I'm not concerned at all. But it is almost high probability we'll be moving out of here sometime this first half of the year. Just don't know where yet.
We're praying for you, Simon.
Thanks.
I'm excited to hear about Hobby Lobby coming.
Yeah, that's really cool. I don't know if they're building a place here, but they're coming to buy property. So, they have a certain way they do it, with the taxes. So they have to buy something that's 35% below market, which these churches here in Kailua are part of castle property. They can't sell to anything but a church or religious organization. So nobody who's in a religious organization can afford market price. So they're certain they'll be able to get it in that. And then they'll be able to write off the market price and on their taxes. So that's how they do it. And then they keep it for a year. And if the church that's on the property that's running it can sustain all the pay for the maintenance and pay for everything else related to keeping it upkeep, and they're doing well, they'll just give it to that church.
Whoa.
So that's really cool what Hobby Lobby does. So it's a good chance they're going to do it for one property, possibly up to 3.
Wow.
So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, keep us updated, and we're praying for you, Simon.
Well, okay, thanks.
Faith's finger went like that when she heard Hobby Lobby. Like, yeah.
I know.
Oh, no.
Crafter. Big crafter. Yeah.
I can spend $200 in a
Oh,
day.
my.
Yeah, I know. Easy.
All right, sounds good. And Faith, anything? I'd like to initiate a conversation for Children's Creative Arts Camp, and we can do a just grassroots team within our Oahu volunteers, and I'd like to pick your mind on something in that regard. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Chris Alsop is great with kids, and
you
he's
can help
great
Tess.
So Faith, yeah, Chris Alsop he's great with kids, and he's an artist.
That's right.
He has actually a nonprofit that does this kind of stuff, and so if you want to work with him, he'd be a good resource to do some kind of kids.
Chris, we've been in conversation with Chris and Steve Newman.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
good.
so
Sounds good.
okay.
And Faith, do you have any feeling as to what Chris and when this could be? Is it summer?
No, I haven't talked to them since the beginning of last year. So it'd be nice to revisit.
All right, I'll get you guys on a Zoom call, and let's see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
Sounds
especially with Steve coming on board. Steve Newman coming aboard to help with his foundation.
Wow, awesome. Okay, well, you all have a great day, and Charlene, I'll forward you the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.